Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about Dave Allen, his fight against Arslanbek Makhmudov this weekend. We'll also touch in on Josh Padley and some of the news that's come out over the past sort of few days. Only a short video today. We'll quickly get through it all. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe, like this video. Leave all your thoughts in the comments about anything we talk about today. And let us know who you think is going to win these fights this weekend. Now, Dave Allen. Arguably his best win for me. It's no doubt his best win that he's coming off of. I think it's his best performance. I think it's the best he's looked. That fight against Johnny Fisher, the first one, I believe Dave Allen won that fight. Now, what he did in the second one was make sure that there was no question about it. Dave Allen coming in, destroying Johnny Fisher within 5 rounds. And realistically, Dave Allen, I've seen a lot made about the past 2 weeks about how good he looks physically. I don't know whether to read in on that or not, because I read in on it last time when he fought Johnny Fisher for the second time. Everybody saw how overweight he looked, the belly, and most people wrote him off, including myself. I thought, what's he doing here? This doesn't look like it's going to work. What's the strategy here? Has he come in like he has previously in his career where he's, not really given 100% to the sport? And boy, did he prove everyone, including myself, wrong in the way in which he dispatched of Johnny Fisher. Now, the first fight, no doubt, was very close, but I thought Dave Allen just took it. I didn't see how Johnny Fisher did enough in that fight to win it. I thought a draw or a Dave Allen victory would have been more closer to what happened in the fight. But the second one, it takes 5 rounds. Dave Allen drops Johnny Fisher once. Johnny Fisher gets back up, still stumbly on his feet. Dave Allen then closes him off against the ring. Hits a great combination, body shots and headshots, to drop Johnny Fisher. As soon as Johnny Fisher's going over, you see the towel thrown in and the fight's over. What do we think Dave Allen can do, though, against Arslanbek Makhmudov? Now, Arslanbek Makhmudov, at one point, probably in 2022, 2023, we're talking about someone that is regarded as a scary heavyweight fighter, and someone that was probably tipped at that point, if I'm remembering correctly, as someone that we thought, in a few years' time, this guy is going to be at the top of the sport, one of the scariest heavyweights we've seen, because of the way he was dispatching of every opponent. We got this big Russian dude knocking everybody out. Looks like he's unbeatable. So the raps were very, very high. Obviously, up until that point, he hadn't really faced the highest level of opponent, but he was still at 15 or 16 wins, maybe a few more. Maybe it was 18 wins. Coming up into 2023 when he fought Ajit Kabayel. And Ajit Kabayel destroys him. He beats him in 4 rounds. And then we start to think, oh, alright, Arslanbek Makhmudov is not the guy that we thought he was. But he's still a scary concept. I mean, since then he's had 3 fights, winning 2, losing 1. His last fight was against Ricardo Brown in June of this year. Ricardo Brown, not an elite fighter. I don't even know whether I'd classify him as a world level fighter. Domestically in Canada, I think a good level fighter, a hard prospect for anybody coming up the ranks in Canada to fight. But not a world level fighter, an elite fighter. And Arslanbek Makhmudov made that quite clear, knocking him out in the first round. So I guess the question, I think, more in this fight is what level do we think both of these fighters are, and whose level is higher? Because I think we've got 2 guys that are more than comfortable at a domestic level. I think are more than comfortable competing at a world level, but neither of which I would classify as an elite level fighter, and 2 people that have sort of gotten to world level and then started to struggle, looked out of their depth a little bit. So Dave Allen, I think, no doubt, is in the best form of his life. I don't think we're going to see a better Dave Allen than we've got right now. And that's not just based off a physical thing. I think that's based off a mentality thing and the effort he's putting into the sport right now. I think, as I said, over the past few years, Dave Allen has sort of been a guy that everybody likes. He's easygoing. He's, you know, sort of one of the lads, and I don't think he's been 100% devoted and mentally there on boxing. And it's almost an attitude that if we saw some of the things that Dave Allen, the way he's come into fights, the way he's performed, if we saw the things that Dave Allen has done, I don't know, let's say that we saw someone like Ryan Garcia or a team of Teofimo Lopez do, they would be slated. But Dave Allen's got this sort of, such a likability with everybody, and it sort of relates to everybody that he sort of gets away with it. But if you're talking pure boxing and ability and whether you've capitalized on your ability, I don't think Dave Allen has up until this point. I think we saw that in the second Johnny Fisher fight. I think we saw a Dave Allen that was devoted and knew how good he is and put everything into it. And I think coming into this fight, I think we're going to see the same. I think we're going to see Dave Allen put everything he can into it. And I think he knows he has to, because when he fought Johnny Fisher, he could come in overweight. And nobody was really worried about Johnny Fisher knocking Dave Allen out with one punch. The problem with this fight is if Dave Allen isn't able to move around and he's slow on his feet and he's sluggish and he allows Arslanbek Makhmudov to get onto him, that's danger, man. That is danger, because Makhmudov will land one punch and you'll be on the ground unconscious. And Dave Allen can't afford to give Makhmudov that opportunity. Dave Allen needs to look, because there is a game plan to beat both of these fighters. Dave Allen's lost 6-7 times in his career. Makhmudov has lost twice in his last 4. So there is opportunity for both fighters. Who do I think is going to win this? I think coming into this fight, I think there's a lot of hype on Dave Allen. I think Dave Allen's the favourite, especially within England. For me, I'm not there. I think Dave Allen's a very, very good fighter, but I'm not sure whether he'll have to outbox the daylights out of Makhmudov like he's never done before, to just stay away from the punches that Makhmudov's going to throw. And I'm not sure whether Dave Allen can. I don't know whether he can sustain an activity, sustain a composure throughout the whole fight that allows him to not be hit by Makhmudov, and not be hit by Makhmudov with something that'll cause a lot of damage. We've got 12 rounds here that Dave Allen has to try and outmaneuver and outstrike Makhmudov, someone that will always be on the front foot, trying to hunt you down, throwing bombs. So I'm not sure whether Dave Allen can do it. One thing I can guarantee, this fight I think will be fireworks. I don't see this fight going 12 rounds. I think Dave Allen, he'll either piece Makhmudov up because of his boxing ability, or Makhmudov's pressure and heavy punching ability will be way too much for Dave Allen to handle. And unfortunately, I think for this fight, I'm going to be tipping Makhmudov. But do I think it's out of the realm of possibility that Dave Allen dispatches Makhmudov like he did John Fisher? Not at all. I think it is 50-50 of one of these guys are getting knocked out. It's just which one do you think is going to be doing it. Also on the card, we have Josh Padley's taking on Reece Bellotti. Reece Bellotti, that last fight against Ryan Garner, that was such a tough fight for him. He fought really, really, really well. If you look at it on a face value, if you just go on BoxRec and look at the score and look at what happened, you'll see that Reece Bellotti basically won none of the rounds and got knocked out in the 12th. But if you watch the fight, you'll see how competitive Reece Bellotti was throughout that whole fight. But I think it was just the small things. I think Ryan Garner was just quicker. He was just more powerful. He was just more active. And those tiny little just bit mores gave him the win. I don't think there was much separating those two fighters at all. But in every department, Ryan Garner was just a little bit better. And I think this fight, you're going to see that again. I think Reece Bellotti will cause Josh Padley a lot of problems, but I think Josh Padley will just be too good in every department by a little bit, and those little bits add up, and I think Josh Padley will be able to beat Reece Bellotti. Josh Padley, he's a bit of a weird one, because I think his best performance was Mark Chamberlain. I think that was the best one we saw, but I think lots of people give him more credit for Shakur Stevenson. I don't give him too much credit for Shakur Stevenson. I know the story's nice, and the way he performs was nice, Of 3 days, he comes in, survives 8 or 9 rounds with Shakur Stevenson, but ultimately loses. For me, it was nice for him. He built his name up. He put in a hardy performance, but in terms of Do I think I saw anything in that fight that would say he's good enough to win a belt? No. I think we saw something very good against Mark Chamberlain. His fight earlier this year against Marcos and Fatanovic, a Serbian fighter. That Serbian fighter came in 13-0 into that fight. Most of those fights domestic, but still. And Josh Padley beat him in 4 or 5 rounds. That was back in February. No, it wasn't. It was back in May? May or April, that fight was, winning round 5 TKO. So, for Josh Padley, I think this will be a good night for him, but I think it'll be a very, very tough fight. Don't sleep on Reece Bellotti. I know you look at his record and you look at his last fight and you think, nah, this guy's lost it. I don't think he has lost it. I think he's a very, very good competitor. I think he's just lacking in all those departments, and for those reasons, I think Josh Padley will walk away with the win here. Alright, I just want to quickly touch in on some news. Ben Whittaker has signed with Matchroom Boxing. Big announcement yesterday for Ben Whittaker and Matchroom. It's a great name to have in your stable, to be honest. I think it's someone that he's entertaining. I think you can build a fan base for him. I think lots of people love him. I think lots of people hate him. And when you have a fighter like that, you know, the people think, oh, you hate it, it's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing. If you've got your fan base, but you've got a fan base of haters, those two things together, a bit like what we see with Jake Paul, sells fights because people are there. They're either watching because they love Whittaker and they love the way he performs, entertains, his cockiness, his ego, everything about him they love, or for all those same reasons, they hate him and want him to get knocked out. And all of a sudden, you're saying, all these people are paying to watch me fight, whether good or bad, whether they want me to win or whether they want me to lose. They're paying to watch, and that is a great thing for any matchmaker to have and any fighter to have. In terms of Ben Whittaker himself, I think he is a top light heavyweight fighter, and I think he's excellent. I think when he puts his mind to it, he's excellent. In the first Liam Cameron fight, I think he got a bit, complacent. I think he thought it was going to be easy, a walkover. In the second one, he left no questions, and he demolished him like I think we all expected him to do in the first one. Diego Pacheco has split with his longtime trainer and manager, Jose Benavidez Sr. I'm not sure why he has split. I don't know whether that is more of a he wants to explore other options, whether there has been a fallout. If you're going off their last fight and you're basing it off that, which, you know what, I'm going to, because I have no idea. If they could have fallen out, he could just want something different. But if I look at that fight that Pacheco had against Trevor McCumbee, and I'm thinking, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. And for Pacheco, he is in a very delicate spot right now. I don't think he can, if it's not working for him with his trainer, he's not happy with something, push him to the side and keep moving forward. He's 24-0 Pacheco. He's got a heavy contest in front of him. He's going to have to be competing with Mbili. He's going to be having to compete with Shiraz. He's going to have to be competing with Canelo, possibly Crawford. Those are fucking elite names, and you can't leave anything to chance. If you're not happy with something, you got to change it up. And if he's going off his last performance, it wasn't great. And I go to his last performance a lot because I think of what Mbili has been doing. I think of what Shiraz did to Belonga. And you think those two guys are making statements for why they deserve a belt. And Pacheco, I don't think he made that. That was on the Bam Rodriguez undercard. If you watch that fight, you'll know what I mean. It wasn't the most scintillating performance. And Pacheco, he needs to be building his name. He needs to be fighting excitedly. He needs to be putting everything into it because he's in a very tough division right now. So many competitors in that super middleweight division. So, still young, still got a whole lot of career ahead of him. Like I said, he's 20-something and 0. At 20-something, like 23, 24 years old, he's a force to be reckoned with, no doubt. Alright guys, I think that is all the news for today. I will be back tomorrow or the next day to talk about Jerome Boots Ennis' fight this weekend and any other news that's come out. So, like I said, leave all your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I'm out of here, guys. See ya!